When Amelia Carter walked into the softly lit restaurant, she never imagined the night would begin with disappointment. She had promised her best friend she'd give blind dating one more chance, even though her past attempts had left her hurt and embarrassed. She sat at the table set for two, her heart heavy, glancing at the clock every few minutes. One by one, couples around her laughed, clinked glasses, and leaned closer across their tables. But her own chair across from her remained painfully empty. She ordered water, fought the urge to leave, and tried not to let tears sting her eyes. The humiliation of being stood up again was too much to bear. That was when she heard a quiet, weary voice from behind her. "Excuse me, is this seat taken?" Amelia turned and saw him, a tall man in a crisp suit, his tie slightly loosened as though he had just rushed from work. His eyes were tired but gentle, carrying the kind of weight only life's struggles could carve into a person. He didn't look like the polished men she had met on dates before. He looked real. She hesitated before nodding. "I don't think anyone's coming." He sat down with a soft sigh, as if sitting there was both a relief and a risk. They introduced themselves. His name was Ethan Hayes. Within minutes, Amelia discovered something surprising: he wasn't just any man. He was the CEO of a large company, but he was also a single father raising his little boy alone after tragedy struck his family. At first, Amelia thought he must have mistaken her for someone else's date. But Ethan looked into her eyes with sincerity and said the words that made her heart skip a beat. "Don't leave. You're the only one who came." Over dinner, Amelia listened to Ethan's story. His wife had passed away 3 years earlier, leaving him to raise his son, Noah, by himself. Despite his wealth and status, Ethan confessed that loneliness had become his greatest battle. He admitted he rarely trusted anyone enough to get close, but tonight, he had hoped maybe, just maybe, someone would show up. Amelia's chest tightened as she realized they were both broken in their own ways. She had endured failed relationships that left her doubting her worth. He had endured loss that left him fearing love would always end in pain. They laughed awkwardly, shared stories, and for the first time in months, Amelia felt a spark of connection. But sparks aren't enough to shield hearts from challenges. The challenges they faced. Their budding relationship was not simple. Amelia struggled with the fear of being compared to Ethan's late wife. She worried she could never fill the emptiness left behind. Ethan, meanwhile, feared letting anyone into his son's life too soon, afraid of giving Noah hope that might be taken away. There were also whispers. Employees at Ethan's company gossiped when they saw their CEO with a woman who didn't come from wealth or high society. Amelia's own family doubted him, worried she would be heartbroken by a man still grieving his past. But the greatest challenge came one evening when Ethan introduced Amelia to Noah. The little boy clung to his father's arm, hesitant to even look at her. "Are you going to leave like Mommy did?" he asked in a trembling voice that nearly broke Amelia's heart. She knelt down, looking at him with gentle honesty. "I'm not here to replace your mommy. But if you'll let me, I'd love to be your friend." From that moment, Amelia vowed she would prove through patience and love that she wasn't going anywhere. Love tested, love strengthened. Months passed, and Amelia became part of their world. Saturday mornings were spent at soccer games, weekday evenings helping with homework at Ethan's kitchen table. Slowly, Noah's walls began to fall. He began to laugh again, to ask Amelia to read him bedtime stories, to run into her arms without hesitation. But one night, Ethan nearly ended it all. He admitted his fear. "Amelia, what if I can't give you what you deserve? What if I'm too broken to love you the way you need?" Her eyes filled with tears as she took his hand. "Ethan, you don't have to be perfect. I don't want perfect. I just want real, and that's who you are." It was the turning point. Ethan realized that love wasn't about replacing the past or pretending to be flawless. It was about choosing each other, every day, even when fear whispered otherwise. The resolution. Over time, Ethan's family, colleagues, and even Amelia's doubting relatives saw the truth. They saw how his eyes lit up when Amelia walked into a room. They saw how Noah bloomed under the love of two people instead of one. At a company gala, Ethan held Amelia's hand in front of everyone, no longer hiding his feelings. "She's the woman who reminded me it's okay to hope again," he declared, leaving the entire room in stunned silence. And when Noah proudly introduced Amelia as "my second favorite person after Dad," Ethan knew they had become a family. Final message. What began as a blind date that nearly never happened turned into a story of healing, courage, and love. Amelia found the man who saw her worth when she doubted it herself. Ethan found the woman who taught him that moving forward didn't mean forgetting, it meant embracing the future with hope. And in the quiet moments, when Ethan whispered, "Don't leave, you're the only one who came," Amelia would smile and reply, "I'm not going anywhere." Sometimes, love doesn't come when you expect it. It comes when you least deserve it, yet need it the most. It doesn't arrive perfect, it arrives real, raw, and healing. If this story touched your heart, share your thoughts in the comments. Have you ever found love, or healing, in an unexpected place? And don't forget to support our channel Be Kind Always by liking, subscribing, and sharing this video so more people can be reminded that true love and kindness still exist.